Yes, I logged out here. What's up, ladies and gentlemen? We are back in with more Trove. How you doing? Hope you're fantastically wonderful. Hope this video makes your day even better. We got Luxion. Sorry, this is a little bit late for today's post, just because I was busy with some other stuff that you will see get posted today. So I don't know whether or not this guy's gonna end up having anything worthwhile. And then there's also still this idiot, which I kind of missed his items. And frankly speaking, I don't feel like spending the credits on it. Just know that he's got some new stuff. Okay. Oh, I mean, okay, sure, whatever. That's great. Oh, Shadowhunter seems to be on sale or something. Worth. Okay, so we got Bunsly, which is an event ally, which means that you can only buy it once and you're only buying it just for the 10 mastery. I don't know how many dragon coins it is. 15 health regen, 35 physical damage, which, cool. I mean, he is cute. I do like him, especially when you do slash dance and he like rocks out. That's my favorite part of the Cubesleys. Then there's also going to be the Timeless Tale. This is a rug mount. I don't remember where we originally got this. I guess just from Luxion, according to this. I don't know whether or not people are going to be trading it. Only a mill flux for 100 dragon coins isn't really worthwhile. I don't really like the carpets that much. I do kind of like this one though. It's got some nice VFX tied to it. And generally speaking, all the carpet mounts fly now. So they fly now. Yeah, I mean, sure, whatever. And then there's the Techno Tortoise, which I've never really liked the turtle mounts that much, but it is the Techno Turtle, which means that it does also act as a boat. Not that anyone would ever use it as a boat, because boats kind of suck in this game. I wish they would get overhauled so that boats would act like mounts instead. And then we've got the Toasty Coaster. I want this toast now. Oh, I should have checked and see if the Techno Tortoise is actually selling for a decent amount. 100 dragon coins. Nobody wants it. That's why it's at 11 mil. It sure as heck ain't because people like want it that bad. And then this is also just going to end up being a mil. So it seems like people have averaged out 100 dragon coins into 1 mil flux, which is not worth it in my opinion. But yeah, I want grilled cheese now. Then we've also got the SS Solidarity, which is a boat from like a billion years ago. It does come with some mastery at the very least, so it's more worthwhile than any of these other items. I don't think it's gonna be, I don't think it's gonna be that much because it is a boat, so nobody really wants it. And oddly enough, it doesn't come with its sail, which is something that is severely missing from Luxion. The only thing that I would say is kind of cool about this boat is it is a bit of Trove's history that has since been abandoned by the developers. Because for those of you that don't know, back in the day when the Geode update first came out, there was a giant one of these floating in the hub that would lead you into the Geode area. It was really cool, and then they just removed it for whatever reason. Rather than just making the HUD more and more jam-packed with interesting stuff, they just keep removing things. And then there's the Luxion Style Stash, which out of the styles section, there's all these different categories, including pinata and what have you, right? So what this is going to do is give you a random seasonal event pinata or Luxion equipment style. So in most cases, that's 15 dragon coins for 1 mastery. But sometimes you could get like a pinata hat that's worth 10 mastery. It's not really worth it. This is just for mastery farmers at the true end game. And then you can get a single Binding Darkness for 25 dragon coins. This is a beginner's trap. Don't do it, because Binding Darkness is incredibly easy to get now that it's in the Delves. It used to be an item that was in Shadow Towers, and then it was really hard for people like myself to end up getting, even though some people had really good RNG. But Binding Darkness is now an item in the Delves that's, I don't know if it's just off of elite enemies or just all enemies in the Delves. Either way, it's not a coveted resource anymore. And then there's going to be the Golden Hoard Dragon Soul. So you can only buy 15 of these per Luxion's visit, which means that him being on a bi-weekly schedule, it's going to take you roughly 2 months to get all of them. And they're going to end up giving you all of these various badges, which the Golden Hoard Dragonling is a really good starting ally. You get a couple different things, including the dragon stats, which who cares, and ultimately a lot of mastery. Then there's going to end up being the various dragons that you'll end up getting. So this is the cookie cutter one, as I aptly call it. This one has wings but can't shoot fireballs. And then this one is the finale dragon that does everything. It shoots fireballs and flies, which Yay, cool. All right, awesome. So as always in these Luxion videos, I like to break the fourth wall, take a moment to kind of reevaluate and talk about things with you guys. Namely, I wanted to talk about Trove, some of the ARA games that you can expect on the channel, and what have you. So first, let's talk about Trove. It's kind of in a very rough state right now. There's not really anything for me to update you guys on in terms of the entire economy and life cycle of the game, because we're still dealing with dupers and cheaters and stuff. And unfortunately, we haven't heard anything about a new update coming to the game. However, as you may have already seen with my previous two videos, exciting enough, there is a new store pack that you can only find on the website through this specific URL that gives you access to a lot of different items, including the Balefire costume for the Tomb Raiser and the dragon right here. You know, there's a couple other items that you get out of it as well, but it's still just really cool because it's kind of a big part of Trove's history and what have you. And also it's just one of the coolest costumes for the Tomb Raiser. So that was kind of neat that players ended up discovering that. And apparently it only ended up coming into play like 3 weeks ago or something like that. Otherwise, I still do have plans for a lot of our Trove type videos, including like we're gonna bring back some tier lists and stuff like that, as well as a couple quick updated tutorials and junk. You know, at this point, you know what to expect. More Trove is always gonna happen, but after 3 days in a row of like constant Trove stuff, we might slow things down a little bit while I kind of recuperate, you know, and there's also just a bunch of our games that I'm kind of planning on playing as well. Speaking of the other main game on the channel for me anyways is Path of Exile 2, which I'm still very, very much enjoying, but I've noticed that my live streams are not really generating as much interest from you guys. And so we'll probably slow down with the live streams for Path of Exile and instead focus on like more high energy, like high cut videos where I focus on like highlights of my grind, as well as, you know, a lot of our tutorials and stuff like that. There's so many things that I can still cover with Path of Exile that I plan on doing. It's just kind of one of those games where I'm really enjoying like grinding it on the side as well as, you know, grinding Trove and stuff here and there. It's not necessarily that I won't do any more live streams for Path of Exile, but because there's a lot less interest in it, it might slow down exponentially. Another big game that I've continued playing is Helldivers, but I don't know whether or not I want to start covering that on the channel. I possibly could. There's apparently like a big event coming. We might end up seeing a new update within 2 or 3 weeks. I don't know how often the game updates, but I was thinking that since I'm playing it so often on my off time, I could record rounds and then basically scrap all of them that aren't interesting and only show you guys the highlights once again, like maybe just like a full unedited round of something that's really intense or something that was really funny. I don't know. It's something that I want to experiment with because as far as like guides are concerned, there's not really anything for me to necessarily cover with Helldivers because the game is basically like an insane grind. Like to put it into terminology for those of you that haven't played it, you basically have like the dragon coin system in Helldivers. I'm not even joking, where there's all of these various packs. It's like a battle pass, right? But you can grind the in-game, like the cash shop currency, which is kind of like dragon coins, where they've added more and more battle passes to the game, but they haven't systematically increased the amount of credits that you can grind for free. So similar to dragons, it's just insanely bloated and takes an insane amount of time to actually like finish things. But on top of that, there's a secondary currency that you need to get the items out of the battle pack. Yeah, and it's just, suffice to say, it's Trove Dragon coins. It's really, really bad. But okay, let's talk about some of the noteworthy things that are gonna happen on the channel soon. So today you're going to end up seeing a new series start. Yes, a new series of a game called FlyKnight. It's a little indie game that I've been waiting on for quite some time, kind of very heavily influenced by Kingsfield and Souls-likes. So it's a slower combat system. The game's only like $5. So it's probably not going to last very long. Normally what I would do with that type of a video is play through the game in its entirety and then just cut that down to a singular content video. But because of the fact that I kind of I low-key want to push the game on the channel just so that more people can get attention to it. And so I'm going to put out a video today where I fought up to the first boss, and then probably like the next video will be the next dungeon, and then maybe the next dungeon, and until the game is basically finished. Other than that, the only other big thing coming is going to end up being the Monster Hunter beta, which I think starts on February 6th or something like that. And then otherwise, the game itself, you know, still comes out like way late in the month. Until then, I think there's just going to be a lot of random little indie game videos and such. And generally speaking, FlyKnight's the only game that I'm planning on having multiple videos covering it, rather than just something that would just be a singular video. But there is a VR game coming on the channel sometime soon, which I'm still editing. I'm still getting chopped down, but it's basically going to end up being a Star Wars game in VR. There's a mod for Jedi Academy and Jedi Outcast. So I bought Jedi Academy for like $5 or something, and I plan on having like a tutorial video of how to set that up. And generally speaking, it's a really, really fun game that is already like good in its own merits. It's really old. But it being in VR is so cool, just because of the fact that the lightsaber is like super accurate for like chopping limbs off and stuff. And it's just, yeah, you'll see. I think the VR fans are gonna be excited about that one. And I think that pretty much covers it all. Other than that, you know, real life stuff has kind of just been still the same old routine, trying to figure out, you know, things that we can adjust with Mariko's diet just because of the her gestational diabetes. Which is going to end up apparently going away. Like, we had a doctor's appointment where they kind of talked about the process, and basically as soon as the baby's born, she can just immediately go back to eating all sorts of things. So I'm going to take her out for like ramen and sushi and cake and all the things that she hasn't been able to eat, which I've kind of eaten here and there. Generally speaking, I am trying to adopt the same diet as her, but to her, leftovers and finishing leftovers are more important than throwing it out. So sometimes, you know, we'll end up going out with family or friends and stuff, and then we just happen to have like, oh, here's a bunch of sushi, I guess I'll take it, you know. I'm kind of the garbage of the leftover garbage of the family right now. But I did find it interesting how I seemingly have lost like 10 pounds. I don't know if I necessarily have lost a lot of fat or anything like that in terms of my body fat percentage, but it was interesting to see that I'm weighing a lot less. So yeah, that's probably owed to that diet. I guess last thing I should mention, I'm low-key planning on doing some more gym videos. One thing that I kind of want to experiment with on the channel is doing a, here's my shoulder exercise, completely unedited, where you can work out alongside me, and then I'll kind of talk about the process of the workout, the mentality behind it, and so on and so forth. And I kind of want to do that with each of my different workouts right now, but it's also something that I'm kind of fine-tuning because I'm not like a workout content creator or anything like that. So it really depends how much interest there would be with something like that. Because otherwise the alternative is I could just have one long video that has all of my workouts. But if I have all of my workouts unedited, I feel like that's just going to end up being far too long a video for people to consume. And then it will be far too unspecified, you know, because it would be like, oh, shoulders, arms, legs, it would just cover everything. So it's something that I'm working on, but kind of in the background, not sure I'm gonna move forward with it. Just wanted to let you guys know. My God, this area is a flashbang. Thanks for watching though, I appreciate it, and I hope you enjoyed. Smash like, subscribe, notification bell, all of that stuff. I hope that you guys and gals have been enjoying the content. I've been really enjoying this new kind of laid back approach that I've had since 2025, kind of my New Year's resolution to how I'm approaching content. And I think that it's something that's gonna be a lot more sustainable moving forward when we have our child in March. That's kind of the main reason why I'm doing all of this in the first place.